Okay, so I see we're just about caught up with the Daf Yomi, so I want to be at least one daf ahead, try to keep at least one daf ahead. This way, if I fall behind, it's not so gefährlich. Even though I'm not feeling so well today and I really don't have koyach for this, I'm going to try my best. So the Mishnah, we said, listed various things not allowed to sell to pagans anytime. And one of them is Istravolin. So the Gemara asks, "My Istravolin." What's Istravolin? Ternisa. So the Gemara answers is Ternisa, which seems to be a type of tree, pine tree, something that they would use for a idol worship, or a minhu. Now this seems to be problematic, because we have a brisa that says "Hasifu alein elechsin, Yisravolin, Moichsasin, Neishuach." It leaves a list of things that are attached to sabbatical laws, and since a pine tree doesn't have any fruit, it wouldn't be subject to sabbatical laws. And it lists elechsin, which is elex, an evergreen with leaves are like holly. Istravolin, what we mentioned, mechsasin, b'nai shuach. Mechsasin are a type of b'nai shuach. It seems that these are things that have something that's edible with them. Salkadaitach is Rabon Ternisa mi Isa b'shviyas. And if you say it's Travolin is a Ternisa, it's a pine tree, what does that have to do with sabbatical laws? There's nothing edible on it. But no, we have a brisa. That's similar to Mishnah and Shviyas, whatever. That is a general rule: anything that's a root that survives all winter is subject to sabbatical law. But if it has no root, it's not. It doesn't not subject to the sabbatical law. Meaning you could do business with it because you're not worried that people are going to use it. So what are we talking about here? So Amr of Safra Peridarza. So Safra says that Istravolin are the fruit of an erez, of a pine tree, of a cedar. And when Rava came from Eretz to Babylonian, he said the name of Lazar, that's Ravolin are the fruit of an erez, of a type of evergreen. Again, they don't have fruit, so I guess it seems like a particular type does. Alright, weiter. B'nai shuach are not allowed to sell. And it would seem that these fruit were used in idol worship all year round by the Romans. B'nai shuach. What are b'nai shuach? Amar Rabba Barbachana Rabbi Yechanan Ta'enei Chivarasa. Rabbi Barbachana said in Rabbi Yechanan that those are white figs. Ufetetaris, what are fetetaris stems? Amar Rabbi Barbachana Rabbi Yechanan for saying shanu. That you only that if you have the Istravolin and the Shuach with their stems, that's when you're not allowed to sell them. It's not a third species; it's a description of the other two species that we just mentioned. Levina, frankincense. So Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Levoin Zaka. So Yitzchak's the name of Reish Lakish. It's only talking about very pure frankincense that they would use in idolatry. Tana. We have a brayso. Mikulan Meichelan Chavila. However, if you have a big bundle, so much of it, you're bundling the item, then you're allowed to sell it. Mechama Chavila Pirish Rabbi Yehuda ben Beser and Chavila Pachusa Mishloisha Min. Manim. Different opinions of what it says here. So one says a bundle. Yehuda ben Beser says that the bundle is either 3 mana. A mana is 100 zuz, so it's a big amount, or 3 species, if they're just bundled all together with other species. Why aren't you worried that they're going to go, now they bought it wholesale, and they're going to sell it retail to be burned as a sacrifice? Baya says when it says you don't put a stumbling block before the blind, the only obligation is just in front of him, but in front of someone else who's going to put it in front of the blind person, it's none of our business. It's out of our jurisdiction. Might be a pious thing to avoid, but it's not required legally. Sarnagalovin, white rooster you can't sell because they're going to sacrifice to an idol. Amar Rabbi Yoina, Amar Rabbi Zarah, Amar Rabbi Zvid. Rabbi Yonason and Rabbi Zarah name of Rabbi Zvid. Again, this in ancient times. Nowadays, no such thing. Ikadem Masnei. Some teach Amar Rabbi Yoina, Amar Rabbi Zarah. Some say it's Rabbi Yona's name of Rabbi Zarah. Tarnagalami. If a pagan goes, asks, who can sell me a rooster? Mortalim Koi Loi Tarnagalavin. You could tell him a white rooster because he's not asking for a white rooster. He's just asking for a rooster. Tarnagalavin lami aslam kalei tarnagalavin. He's specifically asking for a white rooster. Then you can't sell him the white rooster because he's going to sacrifice it to an idol. Tanan. We have a Mishnah. Yehuda Aimer Meicher Huloi Tarnagalavin Ben a Tarnagolin. Rabbi Yehuda says you could sell him. We have in our Mishnah that if you sell a bunch of roosters and one of them is white, that's okay, or even a few of them. You have a whole lot of roosters. Hechidami elaim the kamim tarnagalavin l'mi tarnagalavin l'mi. We can only sell him the white rooster when. So when he's asking for a white rooster, no. If then you can't sell them even with other roosters. So not playing a game. Lav deka. I'm trying to go me. The filo hachil Rabbi Yehuda ben Tarnagolan and Rabbi Yatzvei. Rather, what we're saying is that when someone's asking for a rooster, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you can only sell him a white rooster if you're selling a bunch of roosters, but one white rooster by itself you can't do. Sanakama fil ben Tanagol namaloi. And according to Tanakama, even if you're selling a lot of roosters and you have the one white rooster among them, even then you're not allowed to sell it. And Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, "Hacha b'mayiskin." And what are you talking about here? Kukar damar zevazeh. What if he's asking to buy 2 roosters, the white one and the colored one? So then the Tanakama would say no, and Rabbi Yehuda would say yes. If he just said he wants a rooster, everyone would say it's okay. Even the white one. Tanya Namahachi. We have another brisa. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, a Moshe Bisman Shaman Tanagol Zelavan. Avlimamar Zev Mutter. We have a brisa that says Rabbi Yehuda says you're not allowed to sell a white rooster when he says sell me this white rooster, but if he says this one and this white one and this brown one, then he's allowed to. V'filam Tarnagol Zeh Chavim Shasa Mishnah Levnoya Shahayel Echel B'Sich Beisim Mutter. But even if he says this white rooster, if you know he has a good reason to buy it, not for an idol, meaning he's making a wedding, so he wants to eat, feed it to people at the wedding, and then it's more elegant to have the white one, or for someone who's sick, it's thought that it's something more therapeutic to have a white rooster, so then it's allowed because it's not for an idol. Sanya Vesnan. So, all right, we have the Mishnah over Kichavim Shas Mishnah Levnoi. Ein Oisa Yom Oisa Ish Bilvad. Oisa Yom Oisa Ish Miyaser. But wait a second. We had a Mishnah before that told us that the pagan is making a wedding. You're not allowed to do business with him. So how can you sell him the rooster for the wedding? Amar Rav Yitzchak Bar Marshashia B'Tav Zig. So it doesn't say he's making a wedding for his son. It says Mishnah means a banquet. We assume that's a wedding banquet, but a Tav Zig is not a wedding banquet. It's a social banquet, a party for his friends, and that's okay to do business. Tanan, we have a Mishnah Shal Kol Dvarim Staman Mutar Perushin Aser. Mishnah goes on to say that anything else you can sell to a pagan as long as he's not saying why, or he's not mentioning idolatry. But if he specified, you're not allowed to. So what's my stam and my perushan? What's the general sale and what's the specified sale? Perushan the kamer levodas kechavim. So there's a non-specified sale says I want white wheat, and doesn't say why. And the specified sale says I want white wheat for my idol, for his idol. So now we're on Amud Beis. So then neither is necessary to teach. In the case of a non-specified sale, we could teach the wheat. And if it's specified for an idol, we know that you're not allowed to sell for an idol. So maybe when you're saying non-specified, you're saying sell me wheat, and specified is saying sell me white wheat. Well, then you might go and think that when it comes to rooster, if you're saying sell me a rooster, and you don't say it's what color, you can also not sell it. So what are we saying here? You see, these are the type of questions, the logical questions that Talmud study gives us to think about. This is why the Koreans learn Gemara, right? So they say really, the non-specified sale is where the idol worshiper said he wants white wheat. Perushin the kamal of Avodah, and the specific sale is where he says it's for the Zarah, for pagan worship. Perushin and tzrichale. So you need to say and explain these. Why? Sakadai to kamina high gavra level of Avodah kechavim kaboy. Lameva ku davik bavodah kechavim. Savar ki hechida hu gavra avik be. Kule almaname aviku. Ema hachi ki hechida leis vuli. Kmashmalan. Because you might think like this: the buyer is not really buying it for idolatry. However, he's a person who's very devoted to his idolatry, and he thinks other people are just like him. And he's thinking like this: that if he says he wants the white wheat for idolatry, the people are going to respect him and give him a lower price. And he's only saying that he wants for idolatry to get the lower price, even though he doesn't mean for idolatry. Kamash Malan. So he's saying no. when he specifically says for idolatry, I mean, he's asking for white wheat, but he's not saying it's for idolatry. And so the assumption would be he's asking for white wheat. He was thinking that if he asks for white wheat, he's going to get a better price because the guy's going to think that he's buying it for idolatry. He's going to give him a better price, and then he realized no, and all these things. So that's why the Mishnah tells us no. That when he says he wants it for idolatry, you can't sell it, but if he says he wants white wheat, you can, and there's a lesson behind there. It's nothing. It's not a waste to talk about this. Boy Rav Ashi asked, Tarnagol, Lovin, Ketuan Lemi. What if the pagan asks for a white rooster that was mutilated, and so we assume it's not going to be, it has a leg cut off or something. We're going to assume he's not going to give it for an idol. Ma'alim koloi Tarnagol Lovin Shalom. Can you give him the whole white rooster? Because maybe the question would be, maybe he's going to think like this: if I ask the Jew for a white rooster, he's going to give me one that's broken because he doesn't want me to bring it for an idol. But if I ask for a broken one, then he's going to know I'm not bringing it for an idol. Then he'll sell me the healthy one, and he could bring it for the idol, the pagan. Me, I'm reading Mekama Ketua. So he's saying since he's asking for one that's already broken, he's not going to sacrifice it, or he's just doing that because he wants to buy the one that's unblemished, so he can sacrifice it. Is he playing a trick? So if you're saying we're worried he's playing a trick, trying to go love and lemi, v'oliv lei shocher v'shakel, v'avel lei adam v'shakel, olim koloi lavan. What if he goes? But another case where he might be playing a trick. He's going asking for a white rooster. You sell him a black rooster and he buys it. You sell him a red rooster, he buys it. Then can you sell him the white one? Me, I'm reading Kevin the Havel Le Shachav Shakel Adam Shakel Lavlovit Kumarim Teku. So he was saying, since he bought the red one and the black one, it shows it's not for idolatry, and so then you can sell him the white one. Or maybe he's playing a trick. Teku. We don't have an answer for that. Just let's stay away from that. Let's just let it stand. Mishnah concludes like this: Meir and Rav Dekel. The dekel, the chatz of the nikos, we're not allowed to sell. So Amalei Rav Chisda Avimi. Chisda said to Avimi, "K'minu levois kacham davrim avinu. Arba ma pirkei havin." The tradition, we're learning Maseches Avodah Zarah. Avram Avinu, in his days, it was much more idolatry. He had a Maseches Avodah Zarah. He had a book that taught him how to avoid accidentally being involved in idolatry, and it was 400 chapters long. Nan Chamisha Tanan, our tractate of Avodah Zarah is only 5 chapters long. Lidan and Mai Kamrinan. We don't even know what we're talking about. We read these Mishnayos, and we can't translate the words. My kashalach. So Avimi asked Rav Chisda, what words can't you translate? The Katani Rabbi Meir Me'af Dekel Tov Chatzav Niklas Asalim Kalev Dekechavim. Rabbi Meir says in the Mishnah you can't sell a Dekel Tov, a good date palm, a Chatzav and a Niklas. Alright, so the dekel tavu d'lem is menina and the ha dekel bishim is menina. So you can't sell him a good date palm. Can you sell him a bad one? It's not in Meichel Lahem Mechuber L'Karka. You're not allowed to sell him anything that's real estate, which includes a tree, any tree. So Amalei my dekel tav, Paris dekel tav. No, when it says the fine date palm, it means the dates from the fruits. V'chein amar Rav Huna Paris dekel tav. Because Rav Huna explained that Rav Meir is talking about not selling the tree, but selling the fruits. So then ask Chatzav. What's Chatzav? Kashba. It's Kashba. Kashba is a type of date. Another type of date fruit. Some say it's sugar cane, whatever. Nicholas, what's Nicholas? Ki Asar of Dimi Amar Rabbi Chama bar Yosef Kiryate. If Dimi came from Israel, he said the name of Chama bar Yosef that Nicholas is Kiryate. Another type of fruit. It seems it's another type of date which was named after the philosopher Nicholas of Damascus, who used to send these dates from Syria to Augustus Caesar in Rome. Alright, almost done. I'm a little weak, but we're going to finish this. Amole Abayel of Dimi. Abayel said to Dimi, to non Nicholas, Vladin and Ma'u. Mishnah mentions Nicholas, and we didn't know what Nicholas is. Vimrat Kiryate. Now you're saying it's Kiryate. Vlayadinan. I don't know what Kiryate means. Mahanaslan. What difference is it? Why, it's like someone asks, what's tefillin? It's a phylacteries. Oh, phylacteries. So what's Nicholas is Kiryate. So what's Kiryate? I don't know what Kiryate is. What do I gain by you telling me it's Kiryate? Amalei ahane lechu. This is how the answer goes. Because if you go to Israel and you say you want Nicholas and they don't know what it is, and then you say you want Kiryate, they're going to give you some Kiryate, then you'll know what a Kiryate is. So if you find maybe someone will have a picture or something, you could make a Google search these days, and maybe you'll find a picture of what this Nicholas date is. A new Mishnah. Makom shnagalim ka behimadakalev de kechavim meichen makom shnahagel shalim ka ein meichen. Place where where the custom is to sell sheep and goats, small livestock, to pagans, you can sell to them, and the place where the custom is not to, you can't. Kol makom ein meichen beimagasa. You can never sell them big animals, like meaning cattle. It doesn't, and horses, the golem is yachim, even the babies, the calves and the foals, shlem and shvurin, whether they're healthy or made. Yehuda says you could sell them a maimed animal, and Ben Beseira says you could sell them a horse. Okay. Might be worried that they're going to use it for Shabbos, or different issues. Maybe the Surah Leika. Gemara asks, is there really no prohibition against selling sheep and goats to pagans who were worried that they're going to use it for a sin? Hagudaika. It's only an issue of custom and not an issue of law. Hechadaniga is asur. So if they have a prohibition, they follow the local custom. And so if it's prohibited according to local custom, it's prohibited. Heter nog, and where they allow it, it's allowed. Ramini, we have a Mishnah that seems to contradict this. There's a Mishnah that we're going to have later that says you can't have an animal kept in a pagan stable because we're worried that they're going to commit a very grave sin with it, bestiality. So Rav. So Rav said, "Makom shetir limkor tir liyachid." So Rav said, "No. Where they're allowed to sell, you're even allowed to leave them alone with them because we're not worried. In those places, it's not the custom. It all depends on the local custom. In some places, they're a little bit more sophisticated, and they wouldn't do such a disgusting thing. And if you can't leave them alone, you can't even sell them because we're worried. It all depends on the local custom, not only of the Jews, but of the pagans, as to whether or not they're worried that they're going to do such a thing or not. Chas v'shalom. All right. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment and all the best. Thank you.